You aren't losing your hair to bad genetics. You're losing it because every time you shower, you are pouring gasoline on an invisible wildfire beneath your scalp. Big Pharma is desperately hiding a 2-ingredient kitchen miracle proven to force dead follicles back to life. Have you ever stared blankly at the bathroom mirror, heart pounding heavily in your chest as you slowly pulled another clump of lifeless hair from the shower drain? I know that suffocating silence intimately. I remember the icy chill that ran down my spine every single morning as I looked down at my white pillowcase, seeing scattered strands lying there like the tragic ruins of my own fading youth. We are conditioned to believe it is just genetics, a cruel roll of the biological dice, or simply the inescapable march of time. But what if I told you that the very tap water you use to wash your hair every morning contains enough industrial sterilizing chemicals to slowly poison a houseplant? What if the wildly expensive, chemically loaded serums you blindly swipe your credit card for are secretly accelerating the destruction of your scalp, while the true, undisputed key to unlocking your dormant hair follicles is sitting quietly, right now, on a shelf in your kitchen? Before we dive into the dark, closely guarded secrets of the cosmetic industry and learn how to reverse this damage, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. Your support is the driving force that helps us continue uncovering these vital health truths and creating more content for you. At Canada Senior Health Guide 04 welcomes you to a space where we believe your body holds the ultimate power to heal itself. I have sat exactly where you are sitting now, engulfed in that silent, overwhelming helplessness. I think of James, a 35-year-old software engineer who walked into my clinic last year, his eyes avoiding mine, his face hidden beneath a pulled-down baseball cap. He was standing at the cruel crossroads that modern medicine aggressively forces upon us. Down one path, surrender to a lifetime of rubbing minoxidil onto his scalp, an expensive vasodilator that demanded his absolute loyalty, threatening him with racing heartbeats, severe scalp peeling, and a devastating plunge in his vitality. Down the other path, giving up completely, watching the bald spots spread like a wildfire and helplessly blaming it on his DNA. Millions of people are currently trapped in this exact nightmare, sold a profound illusion by a billion-dollar cosmetics industry that profits endlessly off our deepest insecurities. They sell us the fantasy of instant hair growth shampoos, completely hiding the fact that the very ingredients making those luxurious bubbles are aggressively corroding the scalp's natural defense system. But today, we are going to tear down those lies. I need you to hear a truth that will permanently alter how you view your own biology. Hair loss is not a superficial skin condition. Your hair follicles do not suddenly decide to commit suicide. Hair loss is a blaring red alarm, a desperate cry for help from your endocrine system, and the most brutally honest diagnostic report of the hidden inflammation, microbial imbalance, and nutritional starvation happening deep inside your cells. When your hair falls out, your body is screaming that there is a raging fire inside, and it must sacrifice non-essential parts like hair just to protect your vital organs. This is the breaking point that pushed me, and will now push you, into the revolutionary journey of becoming a biohacker. We are done with chemical band-aids. We are going to extinguish the silent inflammation and awaken your natural hair seeds from their absolute root, because the magnificent power to restore your youth belongs entirely to you. To understand how to extinguish that internal fire and truly reclaim your health, we must first look with unflinching honesty at what is fueling the flames every single time you sit down for a meal or step into your morning shower. For decades, dermatologists have pointed their fingers at a hormone called DHT, painting it as the ultimate villain of hair loss. They tell you that your hair follicles are simply genetically programmed to shrink and die in its presence, and that chemically blocking this hormone is your only salvation. But this is a masterful misdirection. DHT is not an invader. It is a natural hormone that your body produces. The real question, the one that the medical establishment refuses to ask, is why your scalp has suddenly become so violently hypersensitive to it. The answer lies in systemic, chronic inflammation. Imagine your scalp not as a surface to be scrubbed, but as a deeply complex, living ecosystem, much like a fertile forest floor. Right now, in millions of people, that soil is completely toxic. It begins with the water. The heavy chlorination and fluoridation in our municipal water supplies are designed to kill bacteria in pipes. But when that hot water cascades over your head, it violently strips away your scalp's microbiome. It obliterates the beneficial bacteria that naturally defend your hair roots from fungal overgrowth and oxidative stress. Simultaneously, the heavily processed, sugar-laden foods we consume daily are destroying our gut lining. This creates a phenomenon known as leaky gut, where undigested food particles and endotoxins seep directly into your bloodstream, sending your immune system into a state of absolute panic. Your body perceives this internal chaos as a severe biological threat. In response, it floods your system with cortisol and inflammatory cytokines, constricting the tiny, delicate blood vessels that feed your hair follicles. Without a steady supply of oxygen and nutrients, the follicle begins to suffocate. The tissue calcifies, turning the once soft ecosystem of your scalp into a hardened, barren landscape where no seed could possibly take root. The DHT sensitivity is merely a tragic byproduct of this suffocating environment. When you apply expensive synthetic shampoos packed with sulfates and parabens to this already traumatized skin, you are essentially pouring gasoline on a burning house. These endocrine-disrupting chemicals penetrate the compromised skin barrier, further confusing your hormones and accelerating the death of the follicle. We are not losing our hair because we are flawed. We are losing it because our modern environment is waging a silent, chemical warfare on our biology. But the human body is infinitely resilient, and once you stop feeding this invisible wildfire, you can finally introduce the profound, natural remedy I promised you, a simple, kitchen-bound treasure that Big Pharma prays you never discover. Far away from the sterile, fluorescent-lit laboratories where synthetic drugs are manufactured, nature has already engineered a masterpiece of cellular regeneration, and it is likely sitting right next to your cooking oils and spices. For centuries, Mediterranean cultures possessed a profound understanding of botanical medicine, relying on a potent extract that modern science is only just beginning to desperately try and synthesize. I am talking about the pure, unadulterated combination of rosemary essential oil and cold-pressed castor oil. If you just rolled your eyes, thinking this sounds like a fragile, pseudoscientific home remedy, I need you to lean in and listen closely, because the clinical data behind this combination is absolutely staggering. In rigorous double-blind trials, rosemary oil has been proven to be just as effective at stimulating hair regrowth as a 2% minoxidil solution, but without a single trace of the devastating cardiovascular side effects or the horrific shedding phases. How does a simple herb achieve this? Rosemary contains a deeply powerful compound called carnosic acid. When applied to a damaged scalp, carnosic acid penetrates deep into the dermal layers and acts as a profound vasodilator. It forces those constricted, suffocated blood vessels to open wide, flooding the dying hair follicle with a rushing river of oxygen, vitamins, and the raw materials needed for life. Furthermore, it naturally and gently binds to the receptors in your scalp, buffering them from the inflammatory response triggered by DHT without systemically crashing your body's vital hormone levels. But rosemary cannot do this heavy lifting alone. It needs a carrier, a biological vehicle to drive its healing properties deep into the hardened tissue. This is where dense, viscous, cold-pressed castor oil enters the equation. Castor oil is composed almost entirely of ricinoleic acid, a remarkably rare fatty acid that dramatically increases blood circulation while simultaneously acting as a broad-spectrum antimicrobial agent. It physically dissolves the calcification around the hair root, softening the hardened scalp tissue and clearing away the microscopic fungal overgrowth that chokes the follicle. When you blend just 5 drops of pure rosemary oil into a tablespoon of castor oil, you are not mixing a cosmetic lotion. You are compounding a highly active transdermal medicine that directly signals your cellular machinery to shift from a state of preservation into a state of aggressive regeneration. Big cosmetics cannot patent this. They cannot charge you $80 a month for a proprietary blend of plants that you can source yourself for pennies. They need you to remain blind to the raw power of the earth, but pouring this miraculous oil onto a starved scalp is like watering a dead garden if the underlying foundation is broken. We must fundamentally rebuild the soil from which your hair grows. True healing is never a passive experience. It is an active, aggressive reclamation of your own biology. To awaken those dormant follicles, you cannot simply rub oil on your head and hope for a miracle while your internal environment remains a wasteland. You must become a biohacker, systematically dismantling the inflammation from the inside out while physically forcing the scalp back to life. The first non-negotiable step in this protocol is mechanical stimulation through microneedling. Using a derma roller with titanium needles, gently rolling it across the thinning areas of your scalp once a week creates thousands of microscopic, controlled wounds. This is not about causing pain. It is about hacking your body's evolutionary survival mechanism. When your brain senses these micro-injuries, it immediately dispatches a massive rush of collagen, elastin, and stem cells to the site. It forces the body to pay attention to a dormant area it had previously given up on. When you apply your rosemary and castor oil mixture 24 hours after microneedling, absorption goes up exponentially. The botanical medicine bypasses the dead layers of skin and goes straight into the bloodstream of the follicle. But this physical protocol must be married to a radical internal shift. You must aggressively eliminate the inflammatory triggers from your diet. For the next 30 days, I challenge you to completely remove refined sugars, seed oils, and heavily processed gluten from your meals. These are the primary architects of your leaky gut and the silent saboteurs of your blood flow. Instead, you must flood your system with the building blocks of hair: bioavailable proteins, omega-3 fatty acids from wild-caught fish or chia seeds, and dense minerals like zinc and magnesium. You are literally eating to build new tissue. Finally, you must confront the silent killer of modern society: chronic stress. Cortisol is the ultimate enemy of cellular regeneration. You can have the perfect diet and the perfect topical routine, but if you are living in a constant state of neurological fight or flight, your body will refuse to grow hair. You must incorporate deliberate, deep, diaphragmatic breathing into your morning routine and fiercely protect your sleep hygiene, because it is only during deep REM sleep that your body releases human growth hormone, the master key to repairing damaged tissue. This protocol is not a temporary fix. It is a permanent architectural rebuild of your entire physical operating system. And when you combine this deep internal healing with nature's most potent topical medicine, the transformation you witness in the mirror will transcend mere aesthetics. I want you to think back to James, the 35-year-old software engineer who walked into my clinic completely broken, hiding his shame beneath a baseball cap. He didn't just casually try this protocol. He anchored his entire life to it. He installed a heavy-duty filter on his shower head to block the chemical assault. He tossed out his expensive toxic shampoos and replaced them with the raw power of rosemary and castor oil. He microneedled with discipline, healed his gut, and finally learned how to breathe. For the first 2 months, he saw nothing. The mirror remained a source of anxiety, and the shadow of doubt whispered that he should just run back to the pharmacy. But biological resurrection takes time. An oak tree does not sprout overnight. By month 3, the relentless shedding completely stopped. By month 4, a faint, undeniable shadow of tiny vellus hairs began to emerge across his barren hairline. And by month 6, James walked into my clinic and took his hat off. Not with hesitation, but with a deeply quiet, radiant pride. The bald spot that had haunted him for years was heavily populated with thick, dark, terminal hairs. But the most profound change was not on his head. It was in his eyes. His skin was glowing, his energy was boundless, and the heavy, depressive fog of chronic inflammation had entirely lifted. He hadn't just grown his hair back. He had reclaimed the absolute sovereignty of his own body. He had proven to himself that he was not a victim of his genetics, but the master of his biology. This is the exact same power that resides in you right now. The cosmetics industry wants you to stay small, insecure, and dependent. They want you to believe that your body is a flawed machine slowly breaking down, requiring their expensive chemical interventions just to survive. But I am here to tell you that your body is an ancient, infinitely intelligent miracle, fully capable of breathtaking regeneration if you simply give it the right environment. You do not have to accept the narrative of decline. You can choose to fight back, to biohack your way out of the darkness, and to resurrect the vitality that is rightfully yours. Thank you for joining me on this profound journey today. If this message resonated with the truth deep inside you, please subscribe to the channel and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. The revolution of natural healing is just beginning, and we are going to walk this path together, one cell, one follicle, and one life at a time. Hair loss is not an inevitable genetic curse, nor is it a simple cosmetic issue that requires harsh chemical interventions. As we have explored, it is an urgent distress signal from a body overwhelmed by modern environmental toxins, chronic stress, and systemic inflammation. For too long, the medical and cosmetic industries have profited from masking these symptoms, convincing us to pour synthetic chemicals onto a traumatized, suffocated scalp, while ignoring the burning fire inside our gut and bloodstream. True cellular regeneration demands a radical, holistic reclamation of your biology. It requires you to stop the chemical assault by filtering your water and avoiding endocrine-disrupting products. It demands that you heal your microbiome by removing processed sugars and seed oils, replacing them with bioavailable nutrients that physically rebuild tissue. Through the mechanical stimulation of microneedling and the profound botanical power of pure rosemary and cold-pressed castor oil, you can manually force dormant follicles back to life. But ultimately, this transformation goes far beyond aesthetics. It is about waking up to the infinite intelligence of your own body, taking aggressive ownership of your internal ecosystem, and refusing to be a passive victim of modern chemical warfare. When you align your lifestyle with nature's design, optimizing your sleep, managing your stress, and utilizing pure, earth-born remedies, you do not just regrow your hair, you resurrect your foundational vitality. Your body is never working against you. It is a highly intelligent, self-healing ecosystem that simply responds to the environment you provide. Symptoms like hair loss are not isolated failures, but vital messengers warning you of deeper systemic imbalances. When you stop fighting the symptoms with synthetic band-aids and start addressing the root cause, inflammation, toxicity, and stress, your body is capable of miraculous regeneration. Stop outsourcing your health to pharmaceutical and cosmetic conglomerates. Start by taking control of your immediate environment. Install a water filter in your shower to protect your microbiome, and throw away shampoos containing sulfates and parabens. Begin the biological resurrection protocol by mixing 5 drops of pure rosemary essential oil with a tablespoon of cold-pressed castor oil and applying it to your scalp. Internally, commit to a 30-day elimination of refined sugars and seed oils to heal your leaky gut. Most importantly, practice daily, deep diaphragmatic breathing and fiercely protect your sleep to lower the cortisol that is actively suffocating your cells. Treat your body as a living garden that requires fertile soil, not a broken machine that needs chemical fixing. Which step of this natural protocol are you going to try first? The rosemary and castor oil mixture, filtering your shower water, or changing your diet? Please share your thoughts and choices in the comments below so our community can learn from your perspective. If you found value in this message, please subscribe to the channel to support our work and give us the motivation to keep creating powerful, life-changing content for you.